Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment when a woman becomes so steady, confident, and secure that a man does not just notice her, he feels her absence. Not because she demands attention, but because her calm actions speak louder than words. When she stops chasing approval, protects her peace, and moves through life with quiet confidence, everything begins to change. The same men who once overlooked her suddenly find they cannot stop thinking about her. One of the biggest changes is choosing peace over chaos. She no longer argues over every disagreement, explains herself repeatedly, or reacts to every challenge. She speaks her truth once and lets her actions support her words. When a man realizes she would rather walk away than lower her standards, respect begins to grow. And where respect exists, attraction often follows. Her quiet confidence leaves a lasting impression that is difficult to replace. Another powerful shift happens when she makes her own growth a priority. She invests in her goals, passions, and purpose instead of making someone else the center of her life. That creates a life that naturally attracts others rather than chasing them. A woman who is building something meaningful cannot be possessed. She chooses who deserves a place beside her. If you're a woman ready to become unforgettable to men, hit like right now. There is great strength in quiet self-respect. The moment you stop accepting behavior that goes against your values is the moment a man realizes he must grow or step aside. You do not need to argue or create dramatic exits. You simply choose yourself with calm confidence, and that quiet decision often leaves a deeper impression than any confrontation. By giving space instead of chasing, you allow him time to reflect and experience what life feels like without your presence. Your calm becomes a mirror that encourages honest reflection. Instead of reacting to everything, you respond thoughtfully, taking time to understand your emotions before expressing them. That steady emotional maturity naturally earns respect and often inspires him to become more mindful of his own actions. When you remain grounded, he becomes more aware of the energy he brings into the relationship. Another powerful shift is caring for yourself because you value your own well-being, not because you seek anyone's approval. As you invest in your health, confidence, and personal growth, your natural presence becomes more noticeable. You also speak less and observe more, choosing to judge by consistent actions rather than empty promises. That allows you to make decisions based on truth instead of hope. Comment silent if you've ever felt invisible to a man who took you for granted. Careful observation is a quiet form of strength. It shows that you trust actions over fantasies, making it clear that weak excuses will not change your standards. You stop fighting for a place in someone's life, comparing yourself to others, or measuring your worth by the attention you receive. Instead, you know that what is truly meant for you will come with respect and genuine commitment. A woman who refuses to compete for love often becomes the one people value the most. Another powerful shift is emotional freedom. When your happiness no longer depends on one person's behavior, you stop falling apart over every disappointment. A man begins to see you as someone who is already whole, someone who shares life by choice rather than need. That quiet confidence inspires admiration instead of entitlement. One of the strongest boundaries you can have is stepping away from situations where you are not respected, doing so calmly, with dignity instead of drama. You quietly remove yourself from conversations that drain you and relationships that no longer honor your worth. That decision leaves a lasting impression because it shows your kindness is matched by self-respect. As you begin placing your emotional well-being above the need to be loved, you stop forcing broken relationships, apologizing for your standards, or chasing what no longer aligns with you. In doing so, you become stronger, steadier, and more secure in yourself. A man often notices a woman most when she refuses to lose herself. One of the strongest quiet changes is protecting parts of your inner world instead of revealing everything at once. You allow trust to grow naturally, letting someone earn deeper access to your thoughts and feelings over time. That is not about playing games, but about healthy pacing. You also raise your standards without making speeches. simply choosing to no longer accept less than what aligns with your values. When a man realizes old behaviors no longer meet your standards, he naturally begins reflecting on who he needs to become. Another lasting change is finding genuine happiness within yourself. A woman who carries peace, confidence, and purpose leaves a lasting impression because her presence stays in someone's mind long after she is gone. What makes her unforgettable is not only her appearance, but the depth, strength, and calm she quietly carries. Type peace. If you want to learn how protecting your calm makes men chase you, a meaningful life filled with purpose creates a presence that lingers in people's memories. Another powerful shift happens when you stop giving all your time, energy, and care before seeing mutual effort in return. This change is quiet but deeply noticeable. Without saying a word, you show that your kindness comes from confidence rather than fear, and that you value yourself enough not to hold on to anyone who is unwilling to meet you with the same level of respect and investment. Instead of forcing the connection, you allow it to grow naturally without tying your happiness to one person's attention. You wait with purpose, not passively, but with calm confidence and clear standards. You are not rushing to belong to someone who is uncertain about you. You stay steady, choosing a genuine match over temporary attention. That quiet patience stands out because it reflects confidence rather than fear. Another powerful change is how you respond to disappointment. Rather than reacting with anger or questioning your worth, you pause, accept what happened, and adjust your expectations. You do not punish or guilt anyone. You simply change the level of access they have to your life. That calm emotional maturity often has a stronger impact than dramatic reactions. As you become more emotionally secure, you stop relying on constant reassurance and begin choosing relationships from confidence instead of need. When you carry that inner steadiness, people recognize that your presence is something valuable, not something guaranteed. A man feels the difference between someone who depends on him and someone who chooses him freely. You also take ownership of your own life, refusing to let others control your happiness or define your future. You become your own foundation, adding to someone's life without needing them to complete yours. Comment glow if you're ready to level up your confidence and watch men notice. Another quiet change that deeply affects a man is when you finally break old patterns that kept hurting you. You stop accepting half-hearted effort, close doors you once left open, and choose your own peace over uncertain promises. When he realizes you are no longer willing to be overlooked, he may also realize what he has lost. Few things leave a stronger impression than seeing a woman who has found the strength to move forward with confidence. Another powerful shift is continuing to grow. You keep learning, exploring, and building a meaningful life instead of standing still. As your confidence deepens and your perspective expands, people naturally notice the change. Growth, purpose, and self-belief often leave a far stronger impression than appearance alone. You also stop chasing mixed signals, allowing actions to reveal the truth while responding with the same level of effort you receive. The final change is refusing to apologize for your standards. You no longer shrink your needs or convince yourself that expecting loyalty, consistency, respect, and genuine effort is asking for too much. You express your values with quiet confidence instead of fear. A woman who knows what she wants and stands by it becomes impossible to ignore. Share this with a friend who needs to stop chasing and start attracting. She becomes someone he either grows to match or loses completely. Another quiet change is becoming unavailable to things that tire you out. When you stop joining in arguments, stop accepting mixed feelings, stop feeding situations that leave you worn down emotionally, you save your strength for what truly feeds you. This change affects everything because men can sense when a woman has improved her inner space. They can sense when she no longer answers disorder. They can sense when she has moved past old ways. That kind of inner change shines outward and shifts the whole feeling of your connections. There is also the gentle but strong change of staying kind without being fooled. When you keep your caring nature, your understanding, your warmth, but combine them with wise judgment. When you can offer love without losing your own strength. When you can feel deeply without dropping your limits. Men do not fear kindness. They feel challenged by kindness joined with real power. Because that mix is uncommon. And once they know it, they understand how much they could lose if they fail to value it. Another change that quietly raises your value in a man's view is when you do not try to show your worth with words. You do not describe why you matter. You do not battle with others. You do not try to persuade him you are the right one. You let your daily presence speak clearly. You allow your spirit, your true character, your steps, and your heart to serve as proof. This calm belief feels very attractive. It shows you know your value without needing outside agreement. Then there is the quiet change of adjusting without holding anger. When things do not happen as hoped, you do not fall apart. You change your path, you move your focus, you send your strength in new directions, you build again. That ability to recover feels inspiring. It makes a man see you not as someone weak, but as someone who gains more strength through every difficulty. A woman who can heal her own heart is someone a man will always remember. Another quiet change is becoming more intentional about emotional closeness. You do not close your heart, but you no longer give it freely to everyone. Instead, you open up gradually to those who consistently show honesty, care, and trustworthiness. You also practice self-care in every part of your life, through the way you speak to yourself, care for your body, make decisions, and remain loyal to your own values. That quiet confidence is deeply noticeable because it comes from genuine self-respect. A woman who reaches this level no longer searches for approval outside herself. She moves through life with calm certainty, knowing her worth without needing constant reassurance. She becomes her own source of confidence, and that quiet presence naturally changes how others see her. It is not about being possessed or admired for appearances, but about carrying a strength that is rare, steady, and unforgettable. Type yes. If you want me to reveal all 10 silent moves that shift a man's mind. Another powerful shift is protecting your time with the same care you protect your heart. You honor your plans, your goals, and your daily life instead of rearranging everything for someone who has not earned that place. You do not wait to be chosen or abandon your priorities for inconsistent attention. That calm boundary quietly shows that anyone who wants a place in your life must value your time, effort, and presence with the same respect you give yourself. There is also the meaningful change of making some emotional space without causing emotional scenes. When you sense someone moving away, you do not run after them. You do not ask many questions. You do not worry. You simply match their energy with your own adjustment. You step back with steady control. You let them experience the missing warmth of your presence, the quiet of your focus, the calm of your care. And in that space, a man starts to think in new ways he never tried before. He starts to consider what daily life feels like without your positive support holding things steady. That quiet adjustment creates a change no spoken words could achieve. Another quiet change that truly challenges a man's old ideas is when you start refusing without feeling bad. Refusing disrespect, refusing uneven effort, refusing unclear signs, refusing to be a possible choice or extra plan. Your refusal becomes both a clear limit and a strong statement of your value at the same time. And because you say it with calm strength, firmness, and no anger, it becomes hard to argue against. Men notice when a woman's refusal grows stronger than her wish to be accepted. That strength feels both challenging and deeply attractive. There is also the quiet power of not giving long reasons for your decisions. When you choose to leave, when you choose to stay, when you choose to pause, when you choose to step back. You do not offer extended talks about the reasons. You do not defend. You do not over-describe. You let your steps explain. You let your calm make things clear. A woman who does not explain herself becomes someone a man wants to understand better. He begins to wonder about her experiences, what she truly values, what she will not accept. That interested watching grows into stronger attraction, and that attraction grows into real respect. Another change that makes men lose their steady control is when you no longer accept small efforts. When you stop rewarding quick messages, sudden plans, uneven behavior, or care that changes with his feelings. When he offers only the smallest amount, you do not answer with big excitement. You meet it with balanced calm. Not coldness, not revenge, just balanced calm. Because you understand your value is not decided by small pieces you get. Comment boundary. If you've ever walked away and suddenly he couldn't stop thinking about you. That quiet, balanced calm becomes a clear reflection that shows him exactly his place, and it pushes him to either grow higher or move away. Then comes the gentle power of fully accepting your natural womanly strength, not as a plan, but as your true way of being. When you let yourself be gentle, open, wise in feelings, and expressive, you wake up something in a man that helps him feel more secure in his own strong side. This is not about acting. It is about coming back to your real self. Your gentleness is not weakness. It is power shown with grace. It is beauty in movement. And when a man sees that you can be both powerful and gentle, free and caring, strong and calm, he knows he has found someone special. Another quiet change that shifts everything is when you let your expectations naturally sort people. Instead of checking every man to see if he measures up, you let your limits handle it. You stop describing the treatment you hope for. You live it, you show it, you carry it inside, and whoever matches stays. Whoever does not leaves on his own. This builds a feeling of natural rightness around your value. A man knows that if he does not treat you with care, someone else will, not because you warn him, but because your spirit makes it clear. Another quiet change is refusing to let anyone disturb your inner peace. You stop allowing a man's attention, distance, or inconsistency to control your mood or your sense of worth. Your confidence stays steady regardless of his actions, and that emotional stability is something people notice immediately. It quietly shows that your heart cannot be taken for granted. Like this video if you're done explaining yourself and ready to let your silence speak. Another powerful shift is building a life that is full beyond the relationship. You invest in your friendships, work, passions, health, and personal growth, so your happiness comes from many places instead of one person. You also become more intentional about where you invest your emotional energy, offering your deepest care to people who consistently value and respect it. That makes your kindness feel meaningful because it is shared with purpose, not given without limits. A final quiet change is healing your past instead of expecting someone else to heal it for you. You learn from old experiences, face your wounds with honesty, and refuse to let them define new relationships. That emotional maturity creates a sense of security and mutual respect because it shows you are not looking for someone to rescue you, but for someone who can walk beside you as an equal. Comment mystery. If you believe keeping some things sacred makes you magnetic, then comes the quiet strength of choosing peace over closeness whenever the two cannot exist together. You refuse to sacrifice your inner calm just to keep someone near, choosing to let go rather than lose yourself. That decision leaves a lasting impression because it shows you value your heart too much to stay where you are not truly appreciated. Even if he never says it, he understands your self-respect. Treating yourself with the same kindness you hope to receive also changes how you carry yourself, and that gentle confidence naturally draws people toward you. Another meaningful shift is letting go of who someone might become and seeing them for who they truly are today. You stop building relationships around potential and begin making decisions based on reality instead of hope. That clarity creates confidence, and confidence allows healthy connections to grow without force. Share this so every woman can learn how to become the woman men lose their minds over. Together, these quiet changes create a lasting presence that feels both strong and gentle. Each small shift builds greater self-respect, deeper confidence, and healthier relationships without chasing validation. Instead of trying to be unforgettable, you simply become someone whose calm strength leaves a lasting impression wherever you go. Like comment which silent move you're trying first, and subscribe for more ways to become powerfully irresistible.